So, it's a Saturday night. I cannot ask for more. I am sate in a variety of ways, and so um, I am of max patience to explain the most superficial and nonsensical attributes of class to you. Um, yes, and ActiveArticulation.com is our sponsor. So let us begin. So, class, right? So we got class, and class in general is especially at the level that we're discussing it right now. Okay, so there's like a top class, right, and a bottom class, and a middle class, right? So we're being real simple right now. The question is, what's going on here? So the bottom class is defined in many different ways. Abstract is very abstract, right? So there's like have nots, but you're going to notice something, okay? So have nots, so that's one. Poverty, okay? Yeah. So low standard of living, basically, or below. Yeah, I can't spell at all, but how do you spell below? Can I check without screwing this up? Anyway, I'll do it like this. Below living wages, right? And put that in quotes. Living wages. Okay, so over here we got the poor, right? The poor. That's considered the bottom class, right? And basically, they're defined by a low income and like basically a lack of property or resources. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So that's what you're looking at right now. Here is the middle class. Now this is where it starts getting extra nonsensical, because I think we probably all agree that these are poor people, that if we are going to have class, classifications that have to do with poverty and wealth, that this all starts to make this all makes a certain amount of sense. So we get to the middle class, and keep in mind right now we're doing class today, all right, or pop class. Okay, this is what, when people say class on TV, the things they're usually meaning, okay? So this is the middle class, right? And what defines the middle class? And this is where things start to get whippity woo, okay? Because, okay, so generally, if you like check the TV or whatever, they'll say middle class is people who are paid a living wage. All right. So the middle class is everyone above here, right? Like everyone above poverty is essentially middle class in a sense, because what are the definitions? Middle classes aren't generally property owners in the West, unfortunately, because these people, I guess the middle class pays taxes, you know. That's something that they're known for in pop culture, even though everyone's paying taxes. But this is something that they're superficially known for. They're known for basically having jobs, having fairly successful careers. That's okay. So because here's the thing, because in the West we have property taxes, so you're basically always paying rent, right? So, and not everywhere in the West has it, but you can see around here, like there's a bunch of like weird stereotypes that go into the different cultures, but home ownership, that's the thing. So instead of property ownership, it's home ownership, which I have to put in some crazy quotes, because, and then we go into the full, like, okay, even here, this is abstract nonsense. It's not objective because, well, you can see anyway. So now the top class. So the top class nowadays, if you're listening to the pop culture, it's these property owners. Even that has to be in quotes. But the reason why it's property is because it's mostly corporate. And then you get like these stories, Illuminati. Or whatever. I can't spell that shit. I'm not invested enough in these people to learn how to spell their fantasy word. Old money. You get like oligarchs. And the idea is that these people, so we got 1%, right? That's what they call them, the 1%. And then some people call them 2%, or whatever. Some even say top 10%. All of these are used, and it's quite abstract. So the idea is that somehow, because depending on who you're listening to, they'll give you a different story as to how this goes. But these people, because they own, sorry, I have one more thing I have to say, because high income. So I'm putting things in quotes but basically you can see that the most consistent thing between the top and the bottom of this version of class as it's presented today in the pop culture is income. Property, these people, they run businesses, they run Fortune 500 companies and such. So property that isn't corporate isn't even considered property, right? And meanwhile, these people are still paying property taxes, even though, according to, our fantasy philosophy, that's not a means of production. They're paying property taxes on their houses, right? and these people are considered middle class, even though they couldn't quit their job if they wanted to, even for a week. A lot of these people, and poverty is the most understandable one because it's defined by simply having no money, and even that's complicated because you could be in here and be in debt, right? You could be in crazy debt, and if you have a certain relationships with businesses, you can be like a middle class person with less money than a person in poverty, especially in a Western country or just a very developed country. And then here, this is fully abstract. These people supposedly control government. Okay. Even this all needs to be in crazy quotes, because you can see that these people are not the government by definition. The government was not in any of this, as though they have no classification, as though no extra power or no objective difference, as though there's no objective difference between a civilian and someone working with or for the state or defining what is legal or valid according to the state. In this conception, the highest class is just a person that's doing more of what these people are doing, which, don't get me wrong, 100 times more, 1,000 times more, and the inequality is real. Inequality is always real, but they're not actually telling you what makes these people richer or how they're able to control government when they are able to. It's simply like you're supposed to see them as bigger fish. And so you can see that literally this classification system is completely unscientific. It may as well just say little fish, fish, big fish, God, and that you're not supposed to really see the difference. There's no real explanation or diversity, and somehow you're supposed to kind of believe that this person has control, when logically all, at least by the explanation that we're given, they can't possibly have anything but more of what you have. And then these people, for whatever reason, are explicitly not government most of the time. They're not considered government, okay? And I'm not saying that all problems stem from the government, but class is an illusion, and this is the most illusory piece of it. And we just got through it. So thanks for tolerating my bullshit. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. Bye-bye, guys.